Stop complaining, stop gossiping. It's unattractive. It takes away from your attractiveness.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Mookie. If you're new here, on my channel I like to talk about all things involving self-growth, self-love, and helping people to better themselves. So if this sounds like something you've been trying to add into your life or implement into your life, welcome to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about something that I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with, femininity, but also to how to be more attractive and appear more feminine. These are going to be aspects that are going to be concerning your internal rather than your physical. Well, your mindset rather than your physical, so that way you can be deemed more attractive to yourself and more feminine to yourself. Femininity looks different on everybody, so I'm not going to be talking about clothing or hair or anything like that, because I want to focus on the mindset specifically, so that way everybody can, you know, determine what femininity looks like to them. I did make a video previously about how to be more pretty or more attractive, so think of this as like an update or an extension to that video. So the first thing that you want to do is learn how to listen. This is going to make you so much more attractive. So learning how to listen is just chef's kiss. Like, people are going to value you. They're going to be like, oh, I need to talk to her again. She actually listens. So listening more involves not oversharing. Stop giving everybody every detail of your life. Shara 7 talked about this so much, just remaining mysterious. That is going to make you appear more feminine, but also oversharing is just unattractive. It literally takes away from your attractiveness. So stop oversharing. Give people the opportunity to get to know you. Getting to know you takes time. You don't want to put yourself, you're like, imagine laying on a table, like you're like, here, I'm here, this is me, this is all of me. Like, no, give people bits and pieces of you. Don't give your entire self to them. You don't even know them. You don't even know if they're deserving of you. So don't overshare. Stop oversharing. Give information. Think of it as like a business need to know. So if they don't have that business need to know, they don't need to be all in your business, okay? Learning how to listen also involves letting people talk about themselves. Like I said, they have to be deserving to get to know you. So in order for you to determine if they're deserving, you have to let people talk about themselves so you can actually get to know them, and in return, they get to know you. It's a give and take type of thing. Be attentive and remember small details. I don't know about you, but when people remember things about me, it makes me feel so loved and valuable. Not valuable. It makes me feel valued. So when somebody remembers little small things about me, I'm like, you remembered that? Like, oh my God, oh, you actually like me. Okay, that's just confirmation that you do like me and that you do care. So imagine you doing that for somebody else. Think of what they think about you. And it's not about, don't get me wrong when I say this, like, it's not about what they think about you, and you don't want to concern yourself or stress yourself out about what people think about you. But just think of how that makes you feel when people go out of their way to remember small things about you. So learn to listen, remember the small details, because it's going to show that person that you actually value them. And the other thing that you need to do when you are learning how to listen is stop complaining. Cut it out. Stop complaining, stop gossiping. It's unattractive. It takes away from your attractiveness. In order to add to your attractiveness, you have to stop complaining and gossiping. It's so bad. I don't know about you, but when I see people gossiping, I'm like, what are you saying behind me? What are you saying about me behind my back when I'm not here? People that talk about other people at the table are waiting until you get up so they can start talking about you. Do not trust somebody that gossips, and somebody that gossips cannot be trusted. So if you are a gossiper, you cannot be trusted. It's that simple. So stop complaining. It literally sucks the joy out of everything. If you're constantly complaining every time you talk to your friends, or you're establishing a new relationship or friendship with somebody, and you're just complaining, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, da, 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 da. It's too much. It's negative. It's low vibrational behavior, and you're literally draining the joy out of even talking to you. Who wants to talk to somebody who sucks the life, who sucks the joy out of talking? It literally takes the fun out of it. Stop complaining. It's so annoying. The next thing that you need to do or not do when you are trying to be more attractive and feminine is stop being needy. Stop being needy, okay? You are a person that you should be a person that is capable of fulfilling your own needs. First and foremost, once you determine what your needs are, you should be able to satisfy your own needs. So you're not looking for your needs to be met outside of yourself, because that screams desperation, that screams neediness. And who likes people that are needy and desperate? I say that to say there's nothing wrong with having needs and requiring them to be met. That is perfectly okay. That is perfectly normal. But when it's to a point when you are desperate and you are just clinging onto somebody, and that's all it's about, your relationship is about, is just you having your needs met, it takes the value out of the friendship or the relationship, because it just makes it all about you. Neediness is unattractive, so again, that takes away from your attractiveness. If you're constantly needing something, you're just clingy, it makes you look like you do not value yourself. You shouldn't put yourself in the predicament to even beg for anything or anyone. You should be above begging. It's not attractive, it's unbecoming. Please stop begging. That's for people, that's for the low vibrational. We are elevating ourselves, we are growing, we are trying to become our higher selves, and we are trying to become higher, be more high vibrational, so that we can live a positive life. So if you're out here begging, oh sir, please give me more, like, no, what are you doing? No, it literally makes you so unattractive. Like, know your worth and don't beg for it. Don't ask people to do it. You let people know, hey, this is my worth. If they're not capable of paying the price, and I'm not talking about monetarily, but if they're not capable of giving you what you are worth, they don't get access to you. So don't sit over here begging like, oh, I'm giving myself to you. In return, I just need this. Please, sir, give me more. Like, no, stop begging. Don't beg for anything or anyone. It's unbecoming. So instead of begging, what you can do is give yourself the things that you are asking for. So I want you to recognize ways where you are feeling things that make you feel desperate and needy, and cut those out. But not cut them out to the point where you don't have your needs met. Cut them out, meaning give yourself those things. So you don't have to go ask people for that, because it is, I don't care what you say, it's going to come off as desperation. Yes, you require love. Love is a need that needs to be met. But you shouldn't be out here begging for it. That's what people who don't literally have any self-worth do. You beg. I'm sorry. I'm sorry how that comes across, but you're going to beg for things when you don't have it. Instead, give that love to yourself. And then you don't have to be out here begging. Be on the streets begging. Like, that's so beneath you. Don't do it. So give yourself what you're seeking from others. And this is why I stress solo dating. I'm going to make a separate video on solo dating, for ways you can meet friends and meet new people, or just show yourself love. Like, so I'm going to make a whole video on things that you can do to, you know, implement solo dating, and just, you know, showering yourself with the things that you are seeking from others. But yeah, go on solo dates, go out, spend time with yourself, just get comfortable with being by yourself. And once you do, that's going to take away that desperation that you are just so ready to broadcast to the world. Stop showing the world that you're desperate. You're not desperate. There's no need for you to show that to people. Okay, so get comfortable with yourself. And solo dating is a perfect way to learn how to detach. Detachment is important. Detachment is important for having a positive life. and you're not going to be attractive if you are desperate. So learn how to detach, learn to not be desperate, learn what makes you seem desperate, and start giving it to yourself. Give yourself the things that you're desperate for. Also, I see that a lot of people are desperate for validation. They look outside of themselves for validation, and it's so important. I wish a lot more people knew the importance or even how to self-validate. But one way that I learned to validate myself is mirror work. Look in the mirror, look at yourself, and tell yourself the things that you want to hear from other people. Say you need to go out and party and be seen by guys. You need to look a certain way so you can get attention from guys, because that's a big one that I see I would see on a daily basis when I surrounded myself with a certain type of people. I would see people just doing the most to get male validation, and it's just like, it became sickening to me. But I had to look in the mirror and realize I was doing the same thing. So mirror work is something that I did in order to stop seeking validation, because you are all that you need. Like, you get your validation from yourself. That's all you have. Once you recognize that, you're going to be unstoppable. Like, girl, all you need to do is validate yourself, and you're going to be so happy. You're going to feel so elevated, and you're going to feel so confident, because you're like, yeah, I am that girl. And who told me this? Me. Duh. Like, so start validating yourself. If you need more information on how to validate yourself, I would be so happy to make a video. So leave a comment down below if you would like to see a video about that. An important way to not come off as needy and desperate is know that you have other options. I don't care what it is, friends, dating, food, and you always have other options, okay? Just because you're fixated on this one option doesn't mean there aren't other options out there. So another way you can be needy and desperate is hanging on to things, or holding on to things, rather, I should say, that you don't need, that no longer serve you, that are mistreating you, disrespecting you. Don't hold on to that, because you're looking desperate. It looks like you don't have any friends. It looks like you don't have any food. It looks like you don't have anybody else to love you when you're holding on to things that disrespect you, disappoint you, treat you badly, are unhealthy for you. Let it go, because now you're being desperate. Also, you want to stay busy with things that make you feel happy and feel good on the inside. So maybe it can be volunteering, picking up a hobby. I started picking up hobbies that I used to do as a kid. So I am relearning how to play the piano. I am drawing again. I am going out and working out more, going out. I used to play outside as a kid. I'm a 90s kid, so I used to play outside all the time. That brought me so much joy. So, you know, just getting in touch with my inner child, going outside. I'm not, you know, playing outside hanging from trees anymore, but I am going on nature walks, and then, you know, just not playing with my friends, but hanging out with my friends. So those are things that you need to do. Maybe, you know, making yourself happy doesn't look the same way that making myself looks happy, but get in touch with your inner child if you're having trouble figuring out what is going to make you happy. And it's important to, you know, start off doing these things by yourself, so that way you're not sitting there waiting by the phone, waiting for somebody to say jump. Like, you're not waiting for an invitation to go out. You're not going to be and then that's going to lead you to be more attractive, more mysterious, more feminine, because you're not waiting around for people to be like, hey, come out with us. We actually do want to hang out with you. Like, no, you want to hang out with yourself. You are your number one priority. You're not waiting around for anybody else. Also, you want to be able to stick to your word. Nobody respects, and I mean nobody respects, someone who cannot respect themselves. You have to be able to stick to your word. Don't break promises to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. You are disappointing yourself when you say, I'm going to go work out for 5 minutes today. What's 5 minutes out of 24 hours? Nothing. If you say you're gonna do it, because you are showing yourself that you are okay with disappointment, not just from yourself, but from others. Don't be okay with that. Stick to what you say. Stick to your word, because we all know that actions trump words. Say if a guy is like trying to love bomb you, that's the same as you not sticking to your word. It's not true. So if you're allowing yourself to say you make the goal of journaling every morning, and then you don't stick to that, yourself is being set up for disappointment because you set a goal and you don't have any interest in going after that goal. You're setting yourself up for disappointment, and you're okay with disappointment on top of that. And it's the same for when a guy is like, oh, I'm gonna do this and that, when he's love bombing you. It's the exact same thing. They're both bad. You're showing yourself that you're okay with disappointment, so of course you're gonna think love bombing's okay. It's not. So stop setting yourself up for disappointment. Do what you say you're gonna do. And then you also need to learn how to say no without feeling bad. Don't be a people pleaser, because people pleasing is, not you being nice, it's you being manipulative. Let's call it what it is. It's you being manipulative so that people can perceive you to be a certain way. Yes, you may be genuinely nice, but you're trying to control how people see you. Therefore, you are people pleasing. You're doing things so people can like you. So let's learn to say no. Let's stop people pleasing. Let's learn to say no and stop feeling bad about it. Because no is an answer. You don't have to do what people want you to do. And if they get mad at you, good. Thank God they did you a favor. Now you know that you can't set boundaries with this person, so they really don't have any benefits in your life. And then you also want to stop putting other people's feelings above your own. What you have to ask yourself, because I would do this a lot, you have to ask yourself, why are they more important than me? Why do I think they're more important than me? Any answers? Any takers? No. They're not. Stop putting other people's feelings above your own. It's not beneficial to you. It's showing yourself that you don't like yourself as much as you like the next person. Show yourself some love. Show yourself some respect. Put your feelings above others and stop doing the opposite. And then you also need to learn to see things from a more positive perspective. I should have about 2 to 3 more videos about positivity, so if you need help in that department, I suggest checking out one of the videos that I've posted previously. But you want to learn how to be more positive, because one, that's going to allow you to have a positive outlook on life, and you're not going to engage in negative or self-sabotaging ways when you have a more positive outlook on life. Or when you are feeling down, just try to think of something positive that happened to you previously, so that way whatever made you feel down is not going to affect your whole day and turn it into a negative day. And then the number one thing I would say for being attractive and feminine is know that you are the prize and act like it. Just know that you are the prize and you need to act like it. Knowing that you are the prize is just showing yourself that you value you. So you are not going to accept low vibrational, low effort from anyone, okay? You're going to be like, actually, no. So another way to be more attractive and feminine is by being kind. Being kind can go a long way. Being kind shows that you respect yourself, but you're also you're a respectable person, and you don't have a problem with respecting others. So being kind can look like letting the person in front of you merge into your lane instead of being an a-hole. Kindness can go a long way. And then also kindness benefits you, because when we are kind to others or we do good for others, it makes us in return feel good about ourselves. And who doesn't want to feel good about themselves? So when you feel good about yourself, you're going to become more attractive, or radiate femininity. And then also for it to be, it's always been easy for me to be a kind person. A lot of that did stem from people pleasing, but I do not have an issue with being kind to others. So one thing I always keep in mind when I am dealing with others is that somebody always has something going on. Everybody has something going on in their lives that they are dealing with that isn't necessarily positive to them. So, being kind, like smiling at a stranger when you're going into the grocery store or waving at somebody, can go a long way. Like, you don't know if that person just needed to see a smile to feel, better about whatever they're going through, or, their situation is bringing them down, and your positivity, a glimpse of you being positive and kind, they were able to snap into something positive. Like, wow, that person waved at me. That made me feel really good. They got their release of dopamine and you get yours in return. Spread kindness. Spread good energy. And then being kind to people that you have relationships with, whether it's romantic, platonic, or a family member, it shows that you value them and you value them in your life. So why not be kind to people that you value? Because you want the same in return, right? You also want to be capable of valuing other people's time and energy. So try to be punctual when you are meeting up with a friend or a coworker or anybody that you value. Try to be respectful of their time and their energy, because they are giving it to you. They're giving you their time, they're giving you their energy. So why not show appreciation by just respecting their time and their energy? You want to remember to use discernment and be careful with who you let into your inner circle, because birds of a feather flock together. And if you have that negative influence, that rotten piece of fruit in your inner circle, it's going to affect the entire circle. So be careful of who you let into your circle, and do that. Be careful by using discernment. And the last thing that I want to talk about that will make you more attractive and more feminine is being humble. So what I mean by this is like spreading your knowledge in a humble way. Say you don't agree with what somebody is saying. You want to avoid being arrogant and appearing superior, because that's going to rub people the wrong way and they're not going to want to listen to your opinion. Remember, having a conversation with someone else is a privilege. If you value that, if you guys value each other. So if you guys already have that relationship, you don't want to be arrogant and act like you're better than them by humbling them. So you yourself need to humble yourself and be respectful. Try to give your knowledge in a humble way, is all I'm saying. Now, being humble doesn't mean, making yourself small, settling for less, and lowering your standards. That's not what I mean by humble at all. But what I do want to stress is that being truly attractive and being truly feminine doesn't make you better than anybody else around you. And truly attractive and feminine and confident people know this. We're not better than anyone. Nobody is perfect. We all know this. We all know this because it takes away from our energy when we do try to act superior to something or somebody. And you're a result of your actions. So if you act mean towards others, you're going to be a result of that. And being mean and not being humble, acting arrogant and superior, that your actions speak for themselves. Like I said, actions trump words. So you want to just be careful and just humble yourself when you can. I also want you to remember that you need to stop comparing and judging others. So don't compare yourself to anyone but yourself. I only compare myself to myself because I want to be a better me than I was yesterday, last week, last month, last year. You get the point. I want to be better than myself, so I will compare myself to myself. But I will not compare myself to others, because that means I'm essentially looking to be better than them. The only reason I look at other people is, for inspiration. I'm not necessarily comparing myself to others. So I don't want you to do the same either. Comparison is the thief of joy, as well as judgment. Stop passing judgment on others. And I talked about this in one of my previous videos, where you can, when you do catch yourself judging, because sometimes it can be habitual where you're just constantly judging people because you've developed that habit throughout your years. So one way to combat your judgment, or you being a judgmental person, is when you catch yourself doing it, name 2 things that you like about whatever you're judging. So say you're judging some stranger on the street for what they're wearing. Come up with 2 things that you like about them to combat that judgment. So that way you can get out of the habit of being judgmental towards others, especially when you don't know them. I mean, whether you know them or not, judgment is bad. But when it's to the point where you're judging strangers that are literally just passing you by, it's like, what are you doing? So when you're humble, it really shows that you're confident. And somebody who is confident is automatically, a woman who is confident is automatically going to be more attractive and more feminine. And when you're not humble, what you're literally doing is broadcasting your insecurities to everyone around you. You're like, hey, look at me, I'm insecure. It's like, calm down. So this is why I say humble yourself, because if you're not confident, aka broadcasting your insecurities, you're taking away from your attractiveness and your femininity all in one, all at the same time. So like I said, humble yourself when you can. So I talked about humbleness, what it means, what it doesn't mean, blah blah blah. So I want to talk about 5 qualities of a humble person, so that way you can get a better idea of what it is, what it means to be humble. You know that you are not better than anyone. You can admit your mistakes and take accountability. You are a genuine person. You don't measure success by external status and symbols. You know that you're not perfect. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed because I upload at least once a week. I try to do twice now, but I do have a lot of things going on, so what I'm doing is creating batch content, so that way I can just have videos to keep uploading, so that way it doesn't take too much time out of my day to edit. Oh my god, editing is a lot. But also recording as well, so I do have to set time aside for all of this. So, but like I said, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like